So I've been reading and trying to understand everything. Now led me to this one, which is the final one I'm currently reading.
Very good.
Unmasking AI by
okay.
Joy, by Joy Bolanwi, Winnie. So so Joy's book talks about the coded gaze, you know, so the reality that AI models
have
been are trained on data that are collected by, you know,
all this
by you know, among the Caucasians, and then not being able to, you know, decipher or represent people of African descent very well. And how does this affect my work is the fact that even in the medical field, as we begin to look at the data that we are potentially going to be using for AI, a lot of them are from long-term studies that have been done in the West. So, and for us, you know, we in Africa, we need to start thinking of how do we represent ourselves?
Yeah, exactly. You know? And that's why I was happy that you are a researcher. We need more African researchers.
Exactly. So
we cannot continue relying on what the West is doing, especially in the area of medicine. Okay, we have peculiar issues that only we can do the work. Yeah, very good.
So yes, so it's exactly, like for example, sickle cell disease is something that it's more, I think
it's
Nigeria
only people of African descent and some
the Asians
other few
have it too.
Okay, Asians,
a lot too, but one of the highest burdens is Nigeria. Not just that also, but also making sure that our ways of doing things are reflected. Like I just spoke to you about diet. So when you use data, for example, one of the things, you know, I like to talk about this, that in the course of my policy work.
Bridget, let's finish the book and then we'll go back to this. Okay.
Yeah, so it's still the book. So I'm looking at books now. I'm saying that you find out that anything that has to do with, like, I'll give you an example, Mediterranean foods. So Mediterranean diet is one of the best. It's evidence-based. It's associated with longevity, better, reduces all-cause mortality and all of that. So, but how about elements of the African diet? Are we saying it's all wrong?
Well,
that's
maybe not. But remember, what was our mortality? Let's say 2 centuries ago.
Well, the mortality from 2 centuries ago, based on history, was bad for everybody. So it was good for everybody. So it was bad across board. It was bad across all the continents.
Okay.
So, yes. I think, do we have enough? Now, for example, do we have enough data, like the anthropologists and the rest? Do we know what our life was before it was disrupted by elements of colonization, slavery, colonization, and all of that? If we could even go back to that a little bit, that could give us a picture of because the disruption disrupted a lot of things.
Well, see, the same kind of disruptions happen to everybody else.
Yes, it happened to everybody else, but I would say that we are kind of, in terms of documentation, and in terms of, I mean, I like to say this, I don't know, I avoid political discussions. I don't want to, you can edit this out, but you know, I like to say this, that yes, it's true that the British people went to China and got in, but then I don't know to what extent that they penetrated mainland China, but mainland China still has their language intact.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because China was the most advanced society in the world for nearly 2,000 years.
Yeah, so but for me as an African, of Igbo descent, here I am, my religions, it has to be the Western way of doing things.
Well, nobody's forcing you.
No, you can't say, look, let's not go too far. Even governments, I always find it, I'm always telling people that I don't know what authoritarianism looks like, where I come from, because it has always been by consensus. So we don't know how it came. It came military, it was part of the military rule. And then it was now like, then democracy came and it has its own partisan democracy or whatever it is. But in terms of consensus, bringing people umuada together, then you bring the different age grades to take a decision that there should be a water pipe. It's not authoritarian. And I don't know how to, I'm always struggling to explain it to people, because just like Chimamanda said, the danger of a single story.
Yeah.
Africa has been painted as a place where there was a lot of military coups, and we prefer authoritarian way of government, and we don't give room for democracy. And in this in this whole noise, just very few people, very few people understand that there's still a large chunk of traditional Africa that takes decisions by consensus.
Yeah.
So when you even narrow that to what this lady is writing about, in terms of you find out that a lot of things about us is misrepresented. So I don't know
what it's for us,
the other tribes, for the other races, but I think
very good. See, this is what I love. This is what I've been asking us to do. Research, okay? We need to do the research ourselves and write books. We need to write books. Okay?
I agree.
Yeah. So all these things you are talking about is for us to do the work. Start researching. More people get into research in various areas of life. And more people write books. And then maybe more people will read books.
Again, even the saying that we don't read books, it's a bit even the saying that we don't read books.
My sister, we don't read books.
Yeah, but do we have to read books in the Western sense? We have an oral way of passing things down to our people.
But
can we continue it?
Oral doesn't work.
No, record it. And I think the issue is that let's say documentation. When it's documented, and then people, because you see, we need to do things. We need to think of solving, even in public health. You need to think of solving problems and getting to people. If people don't read, what do they traditionally do? So I've observed that we love storytelling and we love to listen. We love to listen. So even when I talk diffusion of ideas, it's it diffuses around. So can we even resurrect it? Can we resurrect a situation where Ekene's beliefs for starting this podcast is recorded, and I have experienced it? Can I pass it down to another person? Like today, can I go tell another expert and say there's a podcast about African rising, and you need to be part of it? Can you make out 45 minutes or 1 hour? And then you see, it diffuses until you are able to build a movement.
Yes, this is.
But if I say, can I write a book? It will take you a long time to write the book. And by the time you release it, then we
my sister. Okay, let me just say this. See, today we can say this because the technology of recording either audio or video is available. Okay,
Yeah.
Before that, the best technology was books.
I agree.
Okay. Now,
I agree.
even with recording, right? Writing things down has a magical property. It allows you to write, read your own writing, think about it, erase something, add something, and make it better. Tomorrow, come back. Maybe you take a walk and you think about it. That thing I wrote. You come back again, erase something, add something.
I know.
Okay. See, this is the difference between oral and writing.
No, yes, but what I'm trying to explain to you is, I'm not saying books are not important.
No, I know you're not saying so.
But what I'm saying is, also making room for others, other forms, other ways of doing, other ways of doing things and other ways of passing things. Because I feel that if we could pass down the most important values from one generation to the other, while we are documenting it, and even if because I believe that even the oral was cut short somewhere, when generations were taken away and when people were fighting different battles, that kind of lost it. But gradually, I think we are beginning to get back there, and I think that with the work you're doing and the work others are also doing by using these technologies to bring in a lot of people together, then the oral combined with the writing can continue. But I think but the bottom line is that we are overrepresented when it comes to things around poor human development indices.
Yes.
That's the
See,
sad.
This is our job. We need to turn that around. See, it's for you and me to do that. Okay.
So the last is
So thank you very much for those books. I would definitely get that book because I want to know what that author is saying. Now, see, we're being on the podcast longer than what I wanted us to do. So you see, it's because we are having a very good discussion.